Maris? How you doing? Yeah, we're detectives out of South Hollow. We need a word. You called me? Nah, sir. You called me. That's when DeMarcus Crackhead Crigley folded right there, tripped over his own mess like usual. Same glazed look on his face, like he just rolled out of a crack nap and forgot what planet he was on. Hands behind her back, sir. And where's this happening? In the restroom. Not even outside, not even by the car. Quick salute to Dear Woke Christian and Lady Luck Club. They had the panel rolling when this broke. I tuned in and saw DeMarcus getting hauled off and thought, okay, this must be about the Thornton Township fight. But they said nope, completely unrelated. And those are credible sources. I remembered he got locked up over phone not long ago, so maybe that? But nah, this was something different. Here's where it turns shady. As soon as the cops move in, one starts. I'm placing you under arrest for... and then cuts it off. Nothing. Dead silence. Like they didn't want the charge on record. And DeMarcus? Didn't argue, didn't fuss, didn't even ask why. Just nodded like a man who's been here before. So, of course, we gotta dig deeper. Body cam, context, all of it. Because this wasn't a standard arrest. They cuff him, walk him out, and DeMarcus starts playing casual. Let me put out my cigarette. Then, my wife's here, like that's supposed to matter. Then, don't tighten the cuffs too much. Sir, this ain't brunch. You're not on a lunch date. You're headed to booking. Then he tries, I work on cars now. Oh, really? Since when? Because that Ghost Township check dried up. Tiffany Henyard's sugar train? That ride is over. They march him down the street. Like it's some hometown parade. Big shout out to Street Media Network. They caught it all on camera. Links in the description. Their audio cut off near the car. Though, probably not an accident. Either the cops didn't want us hearing it, or DeMarcus zipped his mouth. But one thing stood out. An officer shows him something on a phone. And now everyone's asking, what was that? At first, I thought maybe it was a clip from the scuffle. Like, that you passing off the phone? That you throwing hands? But nah, this feels bigger. Something deeper. What we do know, DeMarcus got booked March 27th. He's probably bailed out by now. But still, this is just another page in a Henyard crew collapse. And trust me, everyone's waiting on the main event. The grand finale. The big arrest. Let's be real, DeMarcus? He's a pawn. A throwaway sidekick in Tiffany Henyard's saga. Her clock is ticking. One by one, her inner circle is falling apart. And she's next. Mark my words. The day she's cuffed and stuffed in the back of a squad car, that's going to be Dolton's season finale. Popcorn ready. You could tell this wasn't his first rodeo. The way he casually drops. I work on cars now. Like that clears the charges? Yeah, okay. If it's not true, that's another lie on record. And then the walk of shame begins, escorted down like a field trip for O.L. Crackhead Crigley. No fight, no struggle, just routine muscle memory. But here's what he really didn't want to lose, his Newport. That man clung to that cigarette like life support. Cop had to say, drop it. DeMarcus tried sneaking in 2 last puffs before the cuffs locked. Like I said, he knew the script. No panic, no pushback. Just another day in the life. Then it flips left. They don't toss DeMarcus in a cruiser. Nah, he gets shoved into back of a Land Rover like he's riding Uber Black. South Highland PD suddenly fancy, but the real curveball? The cop doesn't slide up front. He climbs right in the back seat next to DeMarcus. Anybody who's ever been cuffed knows that ain't protocol. That's pressure. That's straight interrogation vibes. But here's the kicker. We couldn't hear a word. Audio? Dead. Mystery? Heavy. And if you've been watching how the saga unfolds, you already know this won't be the last shady scene. My gut says Leotes is next in line. His name keeps popping up St. Patrick's Funds, that sketchy youth program. He's swimming in it. If I had to bet $20, maybe even $5, I'd put it all on him being the next one hauled off. Now let's pivot to Carmelo Anthony versus Austin Metcalf's situation, because the internet is split down the middle. Some are screaming self-defense. Me, I'm calling it what it is. Murder. Let's go off facts. First story said Austin skipped school to crash the track meet, but new info proves he was clear to be there. Simple correction. That part gets fixed. But what doesn't get fixed? The knife. Ain't no excuse for bringing a blade to a school event. None. And don't hit me with the self-defense angle. If this was your kid stabbed on the track, you wouldn't be calm. You'd be calling it murder too. Let's keep it real. At first, cops ran when he skipped school. Now they're walking it back. Fine. But the knife? That detail doesn't move. And that's where the whole self-defense story cracks apart. Because if your child bled out on that field, you'd want justice, not excuses. Then comes the bullying claim. Supposedly, the suspect was picked on. But let's add context. He's the captain of the football team. How's the captain running plays, leading teammates, and getting bullied by the same squad? That math don't add up. Sounds like a weak PR spin. His lawyer's doing his job, build a defense, twist a narrative, but this angle? Paper thin. And peep this, the bond was set at $1 million. That's $100,000 cash to walk. They crowdfunded over $400,000. So why was he still sitting in jail? They say processing delays. Maybe, but it smells fishy. One donation site even shut it down and refunded everyone. Now there's 20 new fundraisers floating online. Half of them, scams. Folks capitalizing on tragedy. If you donate, triple check where your money's really going. Meanwhile, my stance hasn't shifted 1 inch. He's guilty. He came with a knife, went where he shouldn't, and chose violence. That wasn't fear, that was rage. That was intent. You don't accidentally walk into another team's 10 armed. You make that move on purpose. And trust me, prosecutors are licking their chops, because word is this wasn't his first time. Supposedly, he's been suspended before for bringing a blade to school. That's not fear, that's a pattern. So for everyone yelling, but Austin touched him first. Fine, but Carmelo had no business with a weapon at a school meet. 2 wrongs don't cancel out. 1 wrong ended in death. End of story. This isn't about black or white. This is about right or wrong. Period. So smash that like button, hit subscribe, and lock in. Because crackhead Krigley, he ain't the last domino. Right behind him, cigarette break. And then, Leotes. That St. Patrick's hustle. That fake car wash program. It's all circling the drain. One by one, the cuffs are closing in.